Sometimes I get a good feeling. Soon wears off. Avicii and Etta James, lunch hour is on the way.
Links FM.
Discover your future at the University of Lincoln. If you want to study at a university with excellent graduate employment and award-winning facilities in the heart of a vibrant city, choose the University of Lincoln. Renowned for high student satisfaction and research that's changing the world. Find out for yourself at our open day on October the 18th.
Enter the Halloween house at Party Planet and you'll get a surprise you might just like. Halloween house at Party Planet has everything you need for a Halloween party. Our huge range of terrifyingly good costumes and decorations will help you put the in party. Come and see us at the Pelham Centre, Lincoln, or click on partyplanet.org.uk if you dare.
Party Planet, your one-stop party shop.
Do you send parcels on a daily basis? Let us make it easier for you. We're low-cost parcels. We deliver parcels and our costs are low. It's that simple. Get in touch and see how convenient and cost-effective we are. Call Low Cost Parcels on Lincoln 501 339 or visit lowcostparcels.co.uk. It's that simple.
The time on Links FM is 12 o'clock with Drayton Motors, Swineshead, Boston. Your number one for Kia in Lincolnshire. On air, online and on mobile. Across Lincolnshire and Newark. This is Links FM.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Katie O'Halloran. The family of Annie Dewani and a British businessman accused of killing her have wept in court as they were shown footage of the crime scene where she was murdered on her honeymoon. Shayan Dewani is on trial for her murder in Cape Town in 2010 and has pleaded not guilty to all the charges against him. Links FM's David Bowden explains the developments in court so far.
Shayan Dewani, through his lawyer, said he was bisexual, that he had had encounters with male prostitutes, and of course he was having testosterone therapy at the time he was with Annie.
A pedestrian has died following a collision in Caister yesterday. The 81-year-old woman died after she was hit by a car around midday. A 76-year-old man who was not injured is now helping police with their inquiries. There's been a collision on the A180 this morning. A car and two HGVs were involved on the westbound carriageway between the Immingham Junction and Brocklesby interchange just after 5 a.m. One HGV had shed its load of plastic beads and one person's believed to have sustained minor injuries. More than 50 cases are being reviewed by Northumbria Police after officers wrongly class rape allegations as not being crimes. An audit was triggered by a police watchdog into more than 150 cases over the last 3 years. A body has been found in a wooded area near Spalding. Police were searching for missing man Christian Kozak and have found a body in West Pinchbeck. There are no suspicious circumstances and a formal identification will take place soon. A number of pubs in Newark are attempting to tackle drunken behaviour by using a breathalyser to establish whether customers have had too much alcohol. The scheme aims to identify anyone who might pose a risk due to the amount they've had to drink. Door staff are asking customers they suspect already drunk to take the test before they're allowed in. Wayne Carter is from the Pound Pub, which has brought in breathalyzers.
We always make that decision when somebody tries to walk through the door. You already decide whether they've had too much or whatever. And it's just nice to have that backup if they tell me, I say, well, no, I've only had a couple of pints. You say, well, blow into this then, please, and then we can show them exactly how much they have had to drink. Just a guide, really.
And from today, Cleethorpes Pier is shutting its doors so refurbishment work can take place to turn it into an exhibition centre and conference venue. A private consortium took the move, the Victorian landmark, last year, promising to turn it from a nightclub into an impressive new community facility. Both the interior and exterior will undergo major improvements along with the decking. And that's the latest.
That's easy for you to say. Wet and windy today around the region. It's chucking it down in most parts. It's horrible, and there's a southeasterly wind as well, which I'm not keen on. 10 Celsius. Tonight, dry for a bit. A low tonight of 8.
Links FM weather with Chandler's Oil and Gas, providing a warm front from our branches in Grantham, Lincoln, Retford and Spalding. Call 08456 20 20 10.
Chandler's Oil and Gas.
Radio 2 online, on digital radio and on 88 and 91 FM.
Now the BBC News at 2 o'clock. This is Alan Dedicoat. A man from Birmingham, Harry Street, has admitted having guns and bombs at his home. The court heard he'd been involved in a dispute with his neighbours, and the judge was told that under the name Barry Williams, he'd killed 5 people, including his neighbours, in 1978, crimes for which he was held in a secure mental hospital until 1994. Sky News say they're saddened by the apparent suicide of a woman they'd accused of spreading abuse on the internet about the parents of Madeleine McCann. The body of Brenda Leyland was found at a hotel in Leicestershire. A reporter had confronted her a few days earlier. She'd said she'd had a right to her opinions. An expert on social media, Carl Miller, says the law on internet comments is clear.
If you actually look at the law that's on the books, trolling is probably illegal. The Communications Act and the Malicious Communications Act has wording in both of them which says that it is illegal to send a communication deliberately which is offensive or grossly indecent, which is basically the definition of trolling.
Sriyan Duani from Bristol has formally denied murdering his wife on their honeymoon in South Africa. The trial in Cape Town is expected to last for several weeks. The Business Secretary Vince Cable has accused his Conservative coalition partners of trying to destroy the welfare state. Mr Cable told the Liberal Democrat Party conference in Glasgow that Tory plans to cut spending by a further £25 billion after the next general election would do great harm to key services. Political staff say his onslaught underlines the determination of senior Lib Dems to distance themselves from the Conservatives. In his speech, Mr Cable said his party would be ready to raise taxes and borrow more.
Key public services have already been cut to the bone, from legal aid, local government to policing and defence. And the Tories are ideologically obsessed by cuts because they see it as a way of destroying public service and the welfare state which they detest.
Virgin Atlantic is to close its short-haul service Little Red, which operates domestic flights within the UK. In a statement, the airline said Little Red hadn't been able to make a positive contribution to the company. The flights will end next year. A law's come into force in Jersey, making the wearing of cycle helmets compulsory for children under the age of 14. It's the first time such a law has been brought in the British Isles. Lakshmi Gopal reports.
From today, most young cyclists in Jersey will have to wear a cycle helmet while riding, or as a passenger in a trailer being pulled by a bike. Anyone caught without could face a £50 fine. The new law applies to all children under the age of 14, and there are already calls for it to be extended to all cyclists on the island, no matter what their age. Jersey is the first place in the British Isles to bring in a cycle helmet law, though other countries such as Australia have had similar legislation for many years.
Lakshmi Gopal reporting, and that's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 2, and next at 3.
Patrick